Good evening and a big welcome from Kohler Bold Art to a PechaKucha evening with 5 leading designers and architects. As in the past, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we celebrate design and ideas, and we do so aided by the simple concept of PechaKucha, which really are informal and fun gatherings where creative people get together and share. We celebrate design and ideas, and we do so aided by the simple concept of PechaKucha, which really are informal and fun gatherings where creative people get together and share their ideas, their works, their thoughts, even their holiday snaps, just about anything really. So before I introduce the featured architects and designers tonight, I'd like to now invite the Managing Director of Kohler Kitchen and Bath India and Sub-Saharan Africa, Mr. Salil Sadanandan, to make a brief presentation, and the only condition we have for him is that he has to do this in PechaKucha style. Salil?
Good evening and welcome to the 3rd edition of our Kohler Bold Art PechaKucha nights. When I look at arts, I personally prefer Impressionism. What's there not to like? After all, this is life on a mild dose of hallucinogens. My favorite painter here is a gentleman called Claude Monet, one of whose early paintings actually gave birth to this genre. Behind every great man is a talented woman, or in my case, a vengeful wife. Monet's muse or obsession was his wife Camille, and this is one of his many paintings that he did inspired by her, and perhaps the most poignant. He spent weeks painting her as she lay on her deathbed, and he painstakingly put into detail her expressions, her feelings as the love of his life died. Death was also the obsession for an ancient civilization, the Egyptians. The pyramids of Egypt, inspired by the descending rays of the sun, are thought to have been built to bury the pharaohs and give them a pathway to eternal life. Our current chairman, Mr. Herbert Kohler, played a small part in a Hollywood movie co-starring Kevin Costner. Film wasn't a big hit, but he made a powerful impression, as he always does in real life. The Kohler family has always had very interesting personalities. His grandfather and founder of the company, John Michael Kohler, was an even bigger character artist, charismatic, innovative, and forceful. Working in his father-in-law's farm implements factory, he chanced upon a horse trough, decided to attach feet to it, enameled it, and created the world's first cast iron bathtub, which he then sold for a cow and 14 chickens. This barter sparked a 142-year legacy of great design and innovation. To this day, our company's products are inspired by the world and the nature as we see around us. This beautiful purist tap has evolved from the humble hand pump, which all of us are familiar with. Thank you for your patience, and I hope you enjoy the evening.
So let's get the Kohler PechaKucha show on, and we begin with Abhijit Bansod, an NID postgraduate who has been part of the New Age design movement in India. Tonight, his presentation is Finding Desi in Design, and travels through more than 15 years of a design journey, trying to find meaning, form, identity, philosophy of Indian design, and how that will be the next big thing in India. Abhijit Bansod.
My name is Abhijit Bansod, and I'm a product designer by profession. I've been in the industry for last 15 years, and I had worked with Titan for 10 years, and I started a platform called Studio ABD in 2008. Since then, we've been exploring various facets of Indian design. One of the special projects, there are many, but one of them really changed the perception of India in global level, is a lamp we had designed for BPL. And this was a LED lamp designed to give 5 hours of power when there is the power break and if there is no current. This really changed the quality of life and quality of engagement where kids have in exam time. It also won many global awards, and it was placed next to sort of Apple and Mercedes in one of the functions.
NID first thing, when I joined in 1994, I noticed that there is a word Desi in design, and while I could see the word is so prominent to me and everyone, but influences, especially in industrial design and product design, were so Western that we had to almost sort of really start finding this Desi meaning, and that's the journey I started in 1997. My first job at Titan, I saw big influence of Swiss design influence on the watches, and I was very keen to find unique Indian identity in timekeeping devices. I was fascinated by Indian heritage architecture and their stories. The beautiful Rambagh watch, what you see here, it's a limited edition watch inspired by Lotus Fountain in courtyard of Rambagh Palace. It's crafted in solid gold with 200 diamonds. It captures the elegance and beauty of the palace. The palace collection also covers Umaid Bhavan, Lake Palace, Falak Numa, and Lake Hyderabad. The next expression was Mandala, and Heritage Collection was tribute to timeless journey of influences on Indian architecture. From Mandala, which is a fundamental base of temple architecture, to Islamic, Buddhist, Rajputana, ends with colonial style of architecture. So we pushed the envelopes, and this time around, literally around Indian monuments. The series of painstakingly designed laser-cut miniature monuments were designed to do it yourself, and they come in the little envelope. And each user make their own monument of love. It took almost 6 months to create Taj Mahal, India Gate, Qutub Minar, Hawa Mahal, Char Minar in this area. The Horn Okay, Smile Please, from people, situation, cities, Swalpa adjust madi, potholes, trains, chalta hai, even a corruption. The list is endless, but the paradox of our life always brings a smile on your face.
Coming on now, we have Sanjay Mohe of Mindspace Architects. Tonight, Sanjay shares with us some of the recurring ideas that come up in their projects and how art inspires them to create.
I'm Sanjay Mohe, architect. Our firm's name is Mindspace. I'm one of the 3 partners, the other one being Suri and Maidappa. We are about 40 of us, about 25 architects plus 5 trainees and all. So we do a lot of institutional work, research labs, and of course residential. There is one project we are doing for Titan Corporate Office, which is on about 6.5 acres of site next to a lake. And we are trying to make it a sustainable building. It would be beyond platinum rating. We're trying to have almost 1 acre of a lake within the site, where the entire rainwater would be directed, and the whole building is planned around that with cascading terraces. There are a lot of these green terraces overlooking the lake. There's very close interaction between the indoor and the outdoor place, so you can actually take your laptop out and sit under a tree and work. And trying to reduce the carbon footprint as less as possible. There's a huge array of PV panels on the rooftops, which will produce large amount of the energy, and trying to make it as sustainable and as lively as possible. Art has always been part of our life. We all like to look good. We like our surroundings to look good. But somebody takes some ordinary object like a spoon, redefines its existence, celebrates its presence, and suddenly it becomes something else. Our whole perception of looking at it changes. This is Mother Teresa by M.F. Hussain, and I'll always get fascinated by these blue lines, the power of those lines. And you always wonder, how can you capture those powerful lines in architectural space? And the project which comes to your mind is Peter Zumthor's Bath. And he uses these lines in architectural space, precisely light coming down and defining the space. And we tried to do it in one of the kindergartens, where the whole sheet of light would come in, and these kids would like to run into the light and run out of it and chasing that sun. And it's like almost a slice of sun coming within the space. And this is the last one, where this is in Bhutan. And the way the architecture, art, and life overlaps in this place is extremely amazing. It's like these people actually emerging out of architecture and merging back into architecture. And it's the true celebration of architecture, art, and life. Thank you.
Begin your home search with India's #1 property site, magicbricks.com.
When odor comes from your body, why spray deo on your shirt again and again?
Switch to new body deodorizer from Nivea Men. Its deodorizing formula is designed to work on your skin and give you day-long odor control with just one use. Nivea Men. It starts with you.
Bravia meets Android TV. Meet a new world.
Today I'm in Chennai and I'm about to meet with India's #1 female squash player.
I can only remember that I was just really excited to be on the squash court every day. Everything else came secondary for me. It's been a long journey for me, and I think I wouldn't have had it any other way. There are no regrets.
Watch Mahindra Scorpio presents Choicer, Drive to the Top at these times on Times Now.
With the included fast charging cord, only 10 minutes of charge gives you up to 4 hours of use. Oh, beautiful. Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge and S6 Edge Plus with fast charging. Change the way you charge.
Introducing Aurum Everyday Gold by Tanishq. Making charges starting at 8%.
Cars mean many things to many people. For me, it's my getaway. To some, it's their passion. To some, their fashion. To some, it's an escape. To some, a friend. To some, it's a sport. Quicker cars. To some, it's where you buy. To some, it's where you sell. यहाँ news है, reviews है, मतलब everything about cars. क्योंकि cars mean everything. Quicker. Quicker.
The same hotel, the same room. But two different prices. Why pay more? Find your ideal hotel on Trivago. Because Trivago compares more than 150 websites, you can be sure to find your ideal hotel for the best price. Hotel Trivago.
Up next, we have Prem Chandavarkar, the managing partner of Chandavarkar and Acker, or CNT Architects as it's popularly called.
My name is Prem Chandavarkar. I'm the managing partner of CNT Architects, which has a long history as a legacy firm dating back to being Bangalore's first architecture firm. There have been a lot over the years, so I can just talk about one recent one that is close to my heart, which is a campus we are doing for the Indian Institute of Management in Trichy. And it is designed as a community of learners, as a place where people come together, encourages them to come together, so there's that buzz of learning. but it's also been designed as an ecological campus which harvests its own water and which will eventually be self-sufficient for electricity too through solar photovoltaic cells. And as you can see from the quotation, I clearly believe that art does not imitate life. And that raises the question, what gives significance to art, or what is art? And these are rather complex questions, perhaps not so productive to ask. It might be easier to ask, where is art? And we tend to say it is in the museums and galleries, and some of it finds its way into our homes. And this breeds an attitude that art is a luxury after we have sorted out the roti, kapda, or makan of art. And we tend to say it is in the museums and galleries, and some of it finds its way into our homes. And this breeds an attitude that art is a luxury after we have sorted out the roti, kapda, or makan. If we have money left, then perhaps we can indulge in art. But this is an attitude that is far removed from the reality, especially in a country like India, where we find that societies whose struggle for survival is most precarious are actually most embedded in art. Rural societies, tribal societies. You find that these people, in the midst of precarious struggle, believe that even the most utilitarian object, a mud wall, a clay pot, must be transformed into art. And I think they do so because life is so chaotic. We are bombarded by multiple things. Each thing keeps changing, and we do not know what should be the frame of reference. And art is something that helps us deal with this chaos. We live in a world where we tend to give value only to what can be monetized. So art is primarily recognized as luxury, status symbol, or investment. We are breaking that cyclical chain of being where art resists life and life subsequently imitates art. I began with a quotation, I'll end with one that describes the state that we have reached. And if we feel that art is just a luxury or investment that is no longer of daily relevance to our lives, it is wrong to ask what has happened to art. The correct question is what has happened to us. Thank you.
Our fourth presenter is architect Arun Balan of Balan and Nabishan Architects. So tonight, Arun will be tracing his journey of art appreciation through the years. Arun?
Sifting through our collection of photographs over the years for this presentation has been a revelation of sorts to me and my team. Art for me moved from a one-sided interpretation to noticing art on a bigger scale that was stitched together by simple people doing simple things, for they are as colorful and as captivating as paintings and sculpture. Art did not need to be seen or touched, but felt with the heart to arouse mystery, eminent brilliance, and appreciate detail and scale. Art perhaps will remain the most astonishing activity of mankind, born out of struggle between wisdom and madness, between dream and reality in our own minds. From being an observer to a creator, this is a challenge I grapple with regularly, for I try to create art even with the most rudimentary element of construction. After all, like everybody knows, even a brick wants to be something. I look at my work as a living experiential sculpture where details are as delicate as brush strokes. Those are the magical instances where the smallest element stands out as the loudest piece of art. That's when the wisdom and the madness turns expectations into expressions. The overlay of technology onto our traditional approaches to art led to innumerable possibilities. With evolution of this intelligence, the interface has percolated into our lives, invisible and unnoticed. It is an artist's canvas, an architect's sketchbook, and a photographer's camera. To close, you may not be a Picasso or Mozart, but you don't have to be. Just create to create. Create to remind yourself that you're still alive. Make stuff to inspire others to make something too. Create to learn a bit more about yourself.
We've saved Gayatri Shetty for the finale. Gayatri studied architecture from BMS College of Engineering and did a short working stint at Mistry Architects, Bangalore. Gayatri tonight has used a very different element. She's used water as the art form to explain the creative elements. Gayatri?
Hi, I'm Gayatri of Gayatri and Namit Architects. Namit and me have started practice almost 20 years ago, and we have been doing various kinds of projects from institutions, residential buildings, and a lot of work in hospitality as well. One project that was close to our hearts as a practice was Inventure Academy, a school that is from kindergarten to the 12th standard. I think what was enjoyable about it was that you kind of got to think again what a child would enjoy as an environment, as a learning environment, and also you would put yourself in that particular child's space and think of what one would enjoy having in school. So I think that was really something that was very close to us as a practice.
If there is any magic on this planet, it is contained in water. So stated an American anthropologist, Loren Eiseley. Water is the source of life. The Nile, Ganga, Amazon, all these rivers have one thing in common. Civilizations settled and flourished around these. It is an epitome of the basic truth that water is a part of our daily life. This uninhibited character of water is so pure that it cuts across barriers of caste, creed, religion. It affects our life and our senses mentally, physically, and especially emotionally. What magic is this that connects everything? The magic that brings energy to the mundane and makes them dance with life is art, and water is the medium of that art. It makes everything picturesque, and that juxtaposition of something rigid against the tolerance and leniency of water is visually poetic. The ploy that is played on our sense of sight, that something transparent in itself reflects everything around it. The mirror that still water contains within creates an illusion that the skies are on the ground. We often find ourselves wanting to take a dip into this mirror. The enchantment from the power of pounding or trickling water, whether it be waves, waterfall, or rain, brings us unbounded joy. Every living thing around this sound somewhat looks more exuberant. It makes everything look more vivid. The aroma which one feels when dry dust meets the first drop and reaches you as a petticoat is mesmerizing. No matter how much one tries, it can never be bottled. Lastly, the magic and the power that we feel within a space due to the energy of water when it's still or when it's moving creates a connection of a higher level. Water is a totem of something beyond human understanding. It is perpetually spiritual. Water is an element of life, and elements of life cannot be controlled. Yet somehow we harness it. We find a way to bring that same liveliness into our lives. The salvation of these repertoires of water and the attempt to effortlessly assimilate this into the space that we inhabit itself requires some skill, which I believe is art.
So really a very big thank you for all those who are attending and our speakers for making interesting and meaningful presentations. I'd like to now call up on stage someone who leads business development at Kohler, Ms. Kapila Sethi.
Thank you all for joining us this evening in such great numbers. It's an experience really to be standing in front of all of you. Some fantastic thoughts that I'm going back with today. So it's a responsibility to learn from the few things that I am taking back today, like sun is at our disposal. A beautiful line that was said, and I think somewhere we take that for granted. The beauty of water, which was spoken about, we again take that for granted. But one thought, which I am going back today is, am I stopping in my life enough to actually see the rain, to feel the rain? Another thought that I am going back today, or one learning lesson that I am going back today is, do I have the skill, or do all of us are now cultivating the skill to know where to stop. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today, and have a great evening. Thank you.
The PechaKucha format is a very crisp, to the point, very lateral thinking kind of a talk. I would say it's one of the finest presentations that happened.
I think they touched upon a subject which is actually quite close to all the architects and people in general as well. The idea with which art and life gets involved is extremely interesting.
So it was really exciting for me to be a part of this evening and then also learn from their perspective on art, life, and the practice of design.